Hello, friends, and welcome to the Friends in Music podcast. I'm sitting here with my good friend, Tyler. Tyler, thanks for doing this with me.
You're welcome.
Yep, so that's it. We'll call it a day. Ready to go home?
Yep. Think so.
Let me give a quick introduction to my good friend, Tyler. He is one of the nicest, most genuine people I've ever met. Can I call you sweetheart? Is that okay?
Yeah, I prefer that, actually.
Yeah, you're definitely a sweetheart. Like, you are just a nice guy. Two things I want to say rolling forward with that is you're good at everything you do. And it's really irritating.
That's very nice of you to say,
Every
but it's
time
not true.
we play a sport, any sport, we play a lot of, well, I don't play, but we go bowling quite a bit.
Yep.
Play bags or cornhole, darts. You just destroy me every time, and it's infuriating. Yeah, no comment.
I don't know what to, I don't know what to tell you.
That's fine.
I guess I'm just really, really athletic.
yeah, you are. Look at you. You are. And then the other infuriating thing is that any instrument you pick up, you're just good at.
Also not true.
You're a great
but it's nice
musician.
of you to say.
Wonderful musician. So yeah, thank you for doing this with me, man. I'm glad
Of course.
we have the time to do this.
This is fun.
So let's talk about when we met. I first met you helping you move into your apartment. We were neighbors at the time, lived in the same neighborhood.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about it all, or you want me to go into it?
Yeah, so my memory of it, I mean, I think I was wearing my Phillies hat.
Correct.
Which I think that caught your eye.
Yep.
Probably first.
Yep.
You're a massive baseball fan.
Your good looks first caught my eye.
Well,
then your
besides that, yeah. I was wearing shorts, so
you were
no one could look away.
some Daisy Dukes.
Yeah. We were moving into that apartment in Arizona, and we had a bunch of people from, I guess, the ward come over, which we were kind of nervous.
The local church?
We were sort of nervous to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the local church, exactly. But there a bunch of dudes showed up, and you showed up, and yeah, I had my Phillies hat on, and I remember meeting you. I feel like I met you when I was bringing the vinyls upstairs. Maybe that's not right, but for some reason, I know I was wearing my Phillies hat, whatever, but I was carrying the vinyls upstairs, and you were like, oh, like, you collect vinyl? And I'm like, yeah. You're like, dude, me too. And I think immediately we were like, oh, perfect.
Did we just become best friends?
Honestly.
Yep.
Like, that was what it was. Because I remember telling Sharon, too, just after that, like, there was this guy, we should hang out with him because he's into music.
Yeah.
And, like, that's always the first thing. That's the easiest thing for me to talk about, at least.
Definitely.
It's like someone likes music. It's like perfect.
Yeah.
So that was super cool.
Yeah. I remember, like you said, the Phillies hats. We talked baseball for a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
And then I remember we moved your couch up, which was a pain in the butt.
Okay, your memory is a lot better than
the
mine.
third floor? Is that what you...
Yeah.
And
there was no
It
elevator.
was miserable.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And then I feel like we moved maybe a guitar or your drum set up.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, this guy. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then the record collection.
It's kind of funny. I feel like it's almost a good way to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Because you see all their stuff and their interests and hobbies.
For sure.
Which
Yeah,
is,
I got to know
I didn't
everything
think about
you.
that until you just mentioned that. Like, that's really funny.
Yeah,
like,
you have no
he has a
secrets.
bed. He must sleep in a bed. I sleep in a bed. Oh,
That's why we're friends.
Yeah.
We both have beds.
Yeah, exactly.
The Friends in Bed podcast.
That's you should change it.
We're starting over.
That's really good. No, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I think your memory anyways is better than mine. So with some of these things, well, you know me. You could tell me 15 times how many siblings you have, and I'll be like, how many siblings do you
don't know
have?
how many siblings I have.
Right.
So it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad example.
Just
But yeah,
funny.
I remember, so that was like COVID was happening.
Yeah.
I think you're the reason why I got COVID, was probably helping you move. But
Yeah.
so like a week or two later, like the world started to shut down, and I was married at the time. So I told my wife, like, hey, there's this couple a little bit younger than us. They don't know anybody apparently in the area. Like,
Yeah.
we need to have them over. So we had you over for pizza. And then, yeah, that's when the bonding really set in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure our wives were just so annoyed. How can they talk music
I know.
the whole night?
Well, and that's all we did.
Yeah.
I think probably that in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, it was nice. When did you make us curry? I thought that was what you made us first.
First time, I believe first time was pizza, because it's just, let's play it safe, right? Like, everybody loves pizza.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's
then
probably true.
curry the next week or the next time you came over.
What's that pizza place called?
Venezia's.
No. We didn't get Venezia's.
Yeah, we did. Was it Barro's?
I think it was Barros.
Nah, I wouldn't get you Barro's
I'm
first
pretty
time.
sure we got Barros.
I would have got you Venezia's.
Yeah,
The Breaking Bad
Maybe
pizza.
maybe it was Venezia's. I don't remember.
But
Yeah,
it
well,
keeps-
I remember coming over, and for a while, well, it took us 30 minutes to find a common band we both liked.
Yeah.
Which was it? Tiny Moving Parts?
Were you into them at that point yet?
No,
was
I
that
wasn't.
what it was? Okay,
No, I wasn't. No, I think you got me into them.
that's what I was going to say. Is that was what was so fun is we didn't back down.
Yeah.
We're like, you love music, I love music. We're finding a band,
Right.
and you told me about so many bands that I've never heard of, which most people would be like, how's there bands that you've never heard of?
Yeah.
But then same thing I would say for you, right?
Yeah. Big time.
And then so if it wasn't Tiny Moving Parts, what was the common interest that we found?
It's funny. I was thinking about this the other day. I was a closet emo. I think I would call myself.
You didn't bring it up for a while. You tried to hide it.
Because I was super into Pine Grove at the time, and that got my, it's not emo, but it got my like upbeat rock alternative fix.
Yeah.
Right. And it had some, I don't know, whinier voices, I guess. But I was kind of a closet emo. So I was listening to all those bands, you know, like Taking Back Sunday and Hawthorne Heights. So I think it was probably one of those bands.
Yeah.
Like an older, like early 2000s sort of, I guess, emo band that we probably were like, oh, you like them?
Yeah.
I love them. Like, that's super cool.
And once we found one, it was a snowball effect of this band, this band, this band, this band.
Yeah. Well, you probably told me too that you were super into Blink, which, I mean, that's your favorite band, right? Which I've always loved Blink-182. I mean, that was, yeah, intro to all that kind of music anyways. So yeah, it's funny.
So I mean, this whole conversation, I got a lot of questions right now, but first thing, Blink.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen them?
Just once.
And not the best experience.
Yeah. So we saw them at Delta Center in Salt Lake, and the sound is terrible. I mean, I've told you before, but it was so bad. I felt bad because Sharon came with me, and I was super excited for her to see them because I knew they'd put on a good show, and they still did. I mean, just seeing them do their thing is super cool.
Yeah.
But the sound was terrible. All the jokes they made, we had no idea what they were saying.
And that's the best part.
I know.
It's the comedy show.
And that's what you've told me for years. Like, dude, they're hilarious. That's my favorite thing. And so that was unfortunate. So yeah, we'll see him again.
I'm sorry that you're robbed of the good experience.
It's okay. We'll get another experience.
Hopefully someday we can go to a Blink show together.
We should absolutely go.
It took us years to go to our first concert together.
Yeah, it did.
But we'll make Blink happen someday.
Yep.
So then the second question, I keep seeing your dog run around. What is your dog's name?
Ellie.
And what kind of dog is she?
She's a miniature golden doodle. You probably heard her eating her food earlier.
She's been going in and out of the doggy door. She's staring at us like, what are you guys doing up there?
Perfect. She's probably chasing birds.
She was sitting in the sun. She was bathing for a minute, tanning.
Yeah, she's an Arizona dog.
Oh, yeah.
She used to lay out on the balcony, and it was 105 degrees outside.
Yeah, I love Ellie.
She finds every warm spot. Yeah.
I love how excited. Like, I've never had a dog get so excited to see me, so it's always great coming over here because Ellie's the cutest dog. So if Ellie could play an instrument, what instrument would Ellie play?
If Ellie could play an instrument? I don't know.
Take after her dad, play some drums.
Yeah, I mean, a dog playing drums would be hilarious.
She's got the energy for it, for sure.
She definitely does. Yeah, that or like, I don't know, a glockenspiel or something. Something stupid.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, glockenspiel. We'll go with that.
All right, locked in.
Yeah.
So then the last question I have from the introduction, your vinyl collection, which has gotten a lot better. I just turned to look at it.
Yeah.
It's growing. I love it.
Big time.
So say you could only take 3 from your collection to save if there was a fire or something. What 3 are you taking?
Oh, man, that's such a good question. I'd take Bon Iver's first album, Forever Forever Ago.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite vinyl record. Number 2. Oh, this is a really good question. I think I'd take one of the Beatles records.
Okay.
Probably one of the older ones. Because when we got into vinyl, they started changing over to plastic, right? Which is what they use now, something like that. So one of like the older pressings would be cool. Which I think maybe Magical Mystery Tour is one of the older ones we have. So I'd take that. And last, the third one, I think I'd take Marvin Gaye.
Ooh, that's a big curveball.
Yeah. What's that song? The sexy song? I can't think of it for some
reason. Sing it. Please sing it.
I can't think of it for some reason.
We have an intro song if you start singing it.
Well, what is the song? What's the name of it? The sex one, you know.
No,
the
please,
sexy
please
song?
tell me.
Oh, Let's Get It On. Yeah. I have that on vinyl. I don't know why I blanked completely.
You know what's funny is what song came to me is the Rod Stewart song. So you think I'm sexy and you want my body. You know that song? That's what at first I thought.
I think that's Marvin Gaye.
But that's what I was about to sing at first.
Yeah. No, Let's Get It On.
So why Marvin Gaye? We have never talked about Marvin Gaye. Let's get into this.
I don't know. I think when I was in high school, I got into like just music I thought was funny.
Okay.
Which that's totally my personality.
Yeah.
If something's funny, like I love it. And so I had all these sexy songs like that song. And like
The first date playlist.
yeah, exactly. Spody Odie Dopalicious Angel by Outkast. I mean, that's a great song. But they're like, I mean, they're just sexy. I don't know. So that was one of the probably a year into collecting vinyl. I saw that at Randy's up in Salt Lake. And I was like, yeah, I'm buying that immediately. Nice. And it's a great record. Yeah, it's super good.
That's such a great answer too. I did not expect that one. I love it.
It's a good one. You know, because if we only take 3, we're gonna need something sexy.
And so talking about high school, you were like wanting funny stuff.
Yeah.
Can we please use a picture of you in high school when you were going for your Andy Samberg look?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's like a whole plethora of pictures you could choose from.
The best introduction of Tyler.
Oh my gosh. Look like such a dork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all right. We all have it.
Yeah.
Mine was like just straight up always emo. Just
I could see
depressed
it.
looking.
Yeah, I could see that. Your hair wasn't gelled up.
No, it was in my eyes. Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
So then the Bon Iver, did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. So they have a new album out.
Yes.
And have you listened to it yet?
Yeah. So I'll tell the story because I'm proud of it because it was really hard to do. So it came out, what's now? It's April. So like first week of April, maybe?
4/29 is the date today.
Yeah. So about a month ago. And I'd seen on Instagram that they were doing pre-sale vinyls, which I guess everyone does. But so I ordered it and I thought it'd get here on the day that the album came out. And it didn't.
Heartbreaking.
And then I left for work for a week, so I couldn't listen to it. And so I was sitting there in my hotel room, like trying my best not to listen to it, because I mean that's what I do when I'm bored. I throw on music, right? And so I'm like, this new album's out, like I have to listen to it. But I waited. Yeah. So I waited. It was like 3 weeks. So it wasn't until 3 days ago that I listened to the album.
Nice.
And I'm glad I waited to listen to it on vinyl because it was a full experience. Yeah. It was awesome. I laid on the couch and threw it on and just blasted it. And
nice.
I mean, it was awesome. And then we played it again and then again. Like, it's so good.
Like back to back?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then every time me and Sharon have gotten in the car since, that's the only thing we've been listening to. It's so good.
Yeah.
So
how many tracks are on that one?
I don't know, 8. Okay. Maybe 8 or 9. So there's 2 parts.
Okay.
The EP put out last October-ish, fall time, I think. Mm-hmm. Has 4 songs. Nice. So we included it. So the Sable side is the 4 songs, and the Fable side is the new stuff. So
that's cool.
It's really good.
Yeah. How many skips are there on it?
No skips.
Good. So it's the perfect album.
Perfect album.
I like it.
0 skips.
I love that you gave yourself that experience.
Yeah.
Like I asked you about it last time I saw you. Like, how was it? You're like, haven't listened to it yet. Not doing it. Not probably do it right.
Well, and we were with our friends up in Bear Lake the weekend it came out, and they're like, we have to listen to it. I'm like, sorry, I can't do it.
You were in their entire weekend.
I probably did. All I did is watch the Masters.
Watch golf. Can't listen to the good music. And then you said that you and Sharon were blasting Ohio's for Lovers, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't a fan of that?
No, but we had a blast looking at their faces.
Yeah. Which I think is funny because we were talking about music that we found in common. Like, I think every time us 3 get in the car, we always play that song.
That's such a great song. That's Sharon. I don't think Sharon would ever admit it, but that's got to be her favorite emo song.
She gets into it.
Yeah.
She likes it now.
She knows all the words now.
She used to be a little bit more timid, kind of hang back.
This song sucks. Yeah.
Now she goes crazy.
No, she tries to scream, yeah.
Now if we can get her into Chiodos like us, how we go crazy when we listen to that.
We should try.
Which is like so funny, but some of my favorite memories with you is blasting that Chiodos, All's Well Ends Well, like just driving around town blasting that. Or when we waited for Mike, and I don't remember what brand new song came on in your car when you sit in the parking lot.
Well, it was, oh crap. What's that song? It's from the Astronaut album. You know the one. I'll look it up.
Okay. But it's so funny. We're sitting in the parking lot. People are walking by us and we're just screaming and the car is shaking. I'm surprised nobody knocked on the window to see if we were okay.
I know. Dude, we were going nuts. I think the car was shaking. They probably thought we were just
doing it. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's us.
Yeah.
Obviously we are.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't even go into that bar.
Nope.
Either. We left.
Waited for Mike and then Mike went somewhere else.
That's so funny. That was a good bar still.
Yeah. We loved it. Great environment, vibe. Music was good.
What's that song though? I am heaven sent.
So
Yeah.
I'll wait for you to figure it out.
All right, you know the song.
Are you really gonna look it up right now?
Yeah.
We don't have rights to play their songs.
I won't play it.
Okay.
Just looking. Oh, okay, I believe you, but my Tommy got it down. Yeah, that's the song.
What's that from?
Which album?
No. What movie is that from?
Oh. Home Alone.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. I was going to say it's the Home Alone song. Yeah.
It is the Home Alone song. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the movie.
So then we kind of hit on it earlier about not being able to go to a concert for quite a while.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, COVID is a big part of that because like we said, we met right before COVID got crazy, strict. So during COVID time, we went camping, hikes. Of course, once things were able to be open and okay. Right. We were in Arizona at the time, so it didn't last that long.
Yeah.
But still, it took concerts quite a long time to pick up.
Ages.
We did some baseball games, though.
Yep.
One of the most meaningful baseball games for me, Father's Day, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Yeah. Dodgers destroyed.
That was a great game.
Albert Pujols hit a home run. We were there for that.
I think there was more Dodger fans than Diamondback fans.
Definitely.
100%.
Definitely. Yeah. That was a great game.
That was a great game.
I mean, we did a couple other games together, but that's the one that I'll forever remember.
Yeah, that was a fantastic baseball game.
Good day. Just all around good day. Yeah. As good of a day we could have. It was a great day.
Yeah, that was a good day. For sure.
And then so what? 3 years at least after knowing you was our first concert.
Yeah. Well, it was just recently.
Yeah, and you made those happen. So I'll let you take the steering wheel. Tell us about those concerts.
Yeah. Who did we see? Just kidding. We saw 4 Years Strong and Free Throw opened up, and a couple other bands. Yep. You knew one of the other ones. Yeah, and then I don't remember the first band. They were cool, but I can't remember the name of them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was a good show though. Metro Music Hall, which is, I don't know, that's like a classic Salt Lake venue.
That was my first time going there.
It's pretty small.
Yeah,
pretty packed, but I thought that was awesome concert. Yeah, I'd never really listened to 4 Years Strong though. And so that was an experience for me.
You got into them like right before that though, right? Because you listened to their newest album.
Because you were like, so you sent me the newer album, I think before we even bought the tickets, if I remember right. So I used to listen to that album while I mowed the lawn. Yeah. It was perfect. Good one. Yeah. And then the next night, back to back, we saw Action Adventure and Tiny Moving Parts. Yeah. Which Tiny Moving Parts was the band that you got me into.
Yeah.
And then I feel like once I really got into them, there was another bonding moment for us.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're super cool.
Yeah, that's a band that, like, for your personality and what you listen to, I was like, how is this guy not into this band? Like, that band's for you.
Oh, they're so
like,
cool.
I love them. But
yeah, that's like a 3-person powerhouse, man. They're so good. Mm-hmm. So that was an awesome concert. Another smaller venue, too, the Soundwell, that was my first time at the Soundwell, actually.
Mine, too. Very nice, though.
Yeah.
I was impressed with their sound.
Yes.
It was very well.
The sound was good. There was a little kid there doing the whatever it's called.
Two-stepping, dude.
Yeah,
he was going crazy.
Big time. Yeah, he was awesome.
He was funny to watch. Like
he two-stepped to every single song.
Yep.
Of all the bands.
He wanted to go harder.
Even the first band that we saw.
Did he really for that band?
He did. He was practicing for him.
That's so funny. I was waiting to see if you're going to bring up that first band or not.
Well, I won't say anything about him, but the big thing that annoyed me is they didn't have a bass player.
Yeah.
It was a backing track.
I didn't even catch that for a minute. Didn't they have 3 guitarists?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? I was like, there's definitely a backing track for the bass.
Yeah.
So,
and I normally will support all bands. Like, I'm pretty big on that. If you go to a show, support all bands. Yeah. But that was one that we're just like, we're going to go sit in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bar there. So
we had a good time.
It worked out fine.
Yep, it was fine.
Drinking Liquid Deaths and whatnot.
And we met a friend that was at the 4 Years Strong concert the night before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We're like, did we see you last night? He's like, oh, yeah. Like, this first band's sick. We're like, okay.
Yeah, enjoy. That's for you.
Yeah.
But Tiny Moving Parts, I mean, that's like the best
dude.
First band we can go to.
I want to see him again and again. Yeah. Well, the best part, not the best part of the concert, the funniest part of the concert was before they came on, One Last Breath was playing by Creed. And so he came on and we're all singing Creed and he sang along with us.
They just joined in.
That was like a total moment, dude. That was like set the vibe for their whole shows. So good.
And he's like, all right, I guess we're going to have to learn a Creed cover.
Dude.
I hope they do.
That'd be sick. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see them every year.
Yeah.
Anytime they're here, I want to go.
Their guitarist, vocalist Dylan is one of the best musicians I've ever seen.
Dude, he's insane.
He jumps around, he plays crazy chords, and he does it all with a smile on his face.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. He's the happiest person.
Yep.
Well, he looks like the happiest person.
He looks like it for sure.
His lyrics maybe tell otherwise. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But
no, in person, seems like the happiest guy. Enjoys what he does, loves doing it every night. Like, I'm happy for him. I wish I could do that.
Dude, awesome show. Yeah, loved it.
So I made sure to ask you about your last album, if there was any skips, because no skips is from you. That's how you judge a good album, how many skips it has.
Yes.
The last no skip album we talked about.
Yeah.
Turnover.
Yep.
We were listening to it, sitting right here, playing cards, something, I think.
Yeah.
And we listened to it, and you're like, it's no skips. It's so good. And what did you manifest? Tell me about it.
Well, all these bands have been doing like album tours, like older album tours. And anyways. And so we're listening to this album, and I was like, dude, how cool if they played Peripheral Vision.
And like not even a week later, they announced.
Yeah, well, you sent me the thing. You're like, dude, like, how did you do this? But it was originally only like 3 shows.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a full tour. And so you were so nice and got me tickets for my birthday.
We don't need to do that. You bought For You're Strong and Tiny Moving Parts.
Yeah, just kidding. He didn't do that.
I'm not a nice person.
You cut that one out.
I will. Don't want anybody to think that.
Yeah. No, so pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, when it first got announced, we were looking at trying to go to Virginia, the one right before Warped Tour.
So there's Virginia. They're playing Red Rocks, and I was like, oh, that'd be
Red
cool.
Rocks
Like Red would be sick. But the Depot that's actually my favorite venue in Salt Lake.
Yeah, mine too.
Most of my favorite bands I've seen here has been the Depot.
Yeah,
great sound, cool vibes. Like,
yeah, it's a really cool building.
It's really, really cool.
It's in a good spot.
Yep.
I was talking to somebody this week that they're from here as well. They grew up here, and it's their least favorite. And I was like,
really?
What? Why? Like, I've only been there 3 times.
Yeah.
But I guess every time he's gone, it's up in the balcony, so the sound's not good in the balcony. Which
it's not. Yeah.
Never been up there.
I've seen one band from the balcony.
Okay.
It was a balcony band.
Okay.
Great band, but one that I did not want to stand for 3 hours for.
Okay.
So, I love the Depot. So it's going to be awesome.
That brings up another good point, talking about not wanting to stand for 3 hours. When we saw 4 Years Strong, we get there early. I find a spot against the wall. I'm leaning against the wall.
Yeah.
And Tyler loves to make fun of me. Oh, you're old. Standing against the wall.
Yep.
And then who joined me like half an hour later?
Yeah, it was me. and on top of that, I was like, oh, you wear earplugs to concerts? Same thing. 30 minutes later, I was like, I need some earplugs in my ears.
And then we got back to your house, and you're like, I need some Tylenol.
Dude. Yeah, man.
That's what you get for making fun of me.
Yeah. I hadn't been to a show in a while. I forgot.
Yeah, well, I mean, that and we are old.
We are.
We're getting there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
So we talked about your 3 albums that you're saving.
Yeah.
That's different, though, than what are your top 5 favorite albums?
Okay. I'll say Forever Forever Ago still up there.
Okay.
I think that's an awesome album. First record I bought, and the one, I would listen to it in high school, like to take a nap. It's just an awesome album. Sgt. Pepper's Beatles album.
Nice.
I mean, it's amazing. I think it's so super cool. I think it's the album they put out when they decided they were going to stop like touring. Mm-hmm. And so they just went nuts and threw in random instruments and made this crazy album. It's really, really good. Love that album. Turnover, Peripheral Visions.
Ooh,
up there for sure. I love that album. Like I said, no skip album.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of those.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of them. There's not a lot that I own.
There's still like a lot of my favorite bands or a couple of songs. I'm like, I don't need to listen to that every time I listen to the album. So
yeah.
Skip.
Yeah. That's a no skip album. That's so good. 2 more. I wrote them down and then I just threw my phone on the ground.
We all heard.
So I need to pick it up.
That's what we were laughing about. Tyler's phone buzzed, so we moved it. Just threw it.
Menocel Oso.
Okay.
Minus the Bear, which they're touring that later this year.
And is that the one that you just ordered?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so 20 years anniversary tour of that, which is really cool.
Speaking of being old, I feel old every time I hear 20 years of bands that.
Well, I saw them, I don't know if they toured the album or if they retoured Highly Refined Pirates. Anyways, the first time I saw them was kind of around that time-ish, maybe a couple years after the album came out. But yeah, freaking awesome album. And then I'm a huge Dr. Dog fan, and the album Shame Shame is my favorite. That's another one of those albums where it's nearly a no-skip album. It's fantastic. Every single song is just perfect. So
that's what's fun about doing this for me is like, I know you pretty well.
Yeah.
We listen to a lot of music together, but you like when we're together, like you play common interest music. Right. So some of those were definitely surprises for me to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm probably more into, maybe not anymore, but I'm a big indie guy.
Yeah.
Especially in high school. Like it was all indie rock, folk rock, whatever.
And those were the bands that you asked me about when we first met. And that,
you're like,
that's something I don't dig into. And
right.
It's not like it's not good. It's just, it's not sad enough.
Well, most people think Dr. Dog is a rapper, but it's not.
Okay.
It's an indie rock group. They're awesome. So yeah, those are all great albums. Highly recommend.
Well, there's two on there that I need to add to my list to listen to that I have not listened.
Which ones?
Dr. Dog.
Yep.
Well, like I said, I need to get more into Minus the Bear. And what was Sgt. Pepper was your second. What was your first one?
Forever Ago.
Yeah, that's the other one I need to do.
It's a sad album. You'll like it.
Oh, good.
It's just like super chill.
Nice.
Like you could fall asleep to it.
Tonight then. So I'll go to sleep.
It's amazing.
And then love it. The next 3 nights, because if it works, so it puts me to sleep, then
right. You found the thing. You figured it out. Yeah.
The trick. Okay. Now I want to know, we talked about how good you are at playing every instrument you've ever touched. What instruments do you play?
So primarily the drums. I did percussion in junior high and high school. So drums is, I'd say that's my instrument. I feel most comfortable playing the drums. I can play a little guitar and I guess a little bass.
Little guitar.
Because of guitar. I mean, I can like finger pick, and I don't know how to use a pick though.
Okay.
I can't figure it out.
That's so funny.
It's really not funny. It's the worst. Every time I play with people, are like, "Where's your pick?" I'm like, I can't play with one. I just can't figure it out. Piano. I grew up playing the piano, so keyboard stuff. And then I mean percussion. It just enlists like 50 instruments, so they don't really count. It's just percussion is the thing. But I guess the ukulele, I don't know.
Yeah. You have a ton of instruments here.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So is your primary percussion your favorite?
Yeah.
As well?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love drumming.
Yeah.
Something about it just gets rage out if you need it.
Oh, it does.
I don't know. Like just sitting behind the drums and drumming along to anything is the best feeling.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny because I heard you play guitar primarily at first when I met you.
Yeah.
And then you had a couple of songs that you're working on. So I heard those, and that was guitar driven.
Yeah.
So it was a while before I heard you play the drums. And then I was like, well, I thought I could play drums. I guess not. I'm done. No. I quit.
Yeah, that's not how it is at all.
That's how it is. You're so good.
But yeah, I was in a band in high school, or I guess college, and I wrote some of the songs and like play guitar.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
Really?
Like, you're so much more vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, it's true.
Something about being in the back behind a drum set, I can do and look however I want.
Yep.
You know?
I'm
hidden away, and
yep.
I feel comfortable keeping a beat. I don't feel comfortable people looking at me.
Yeah. That's the same thing.
Half this interview, you're probably like, why isn't he looking me in the eye? But it's
a condition you have.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, something about just the drums is, I love it.
But I relate to that because people are like, oh, you've been on stage. Like, aren't you fine to stand for? No, absolutely not. Right. I'm sitting in the back. I'm not the primary focus, the guitarist, the vocalist.
Yep.
So I was like, I don't feel any pressure when I'm up there because there isn't any.
I agree. I feel
I feel
much more confident drumming than anything else.
You are a good guitarist though.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to flatter you. You're a great guitarist.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
Yeah. So you had that band in high school / college that you were talking about. Which band was that?
Yeah. So with the same people in high school, the band was called Hollow Bodies because everyone had hollow bodied instruments.
Yeah, perfect.
It was dumb. We sucked. No, we had some fun songs. We recorded down in Provo and played the velour and
nice.
Muse Music when it was down there. So that was really cool and really good experiences with these people. After we got home from our missions, LDS missions, we changed the name to The Lost and Found or something.
Nice.
Also kind of a lame
band
name. And then that broke up, which was good because, we just didn't get along with the lead singer.
Okay.
And then we started a band called Local Sports Team, which I think that's my favorite band name of all time.
Yeah.
I wish we were better musicians and like made better songs because it's not wasted, but it's almost wasted.
No.
It's such a great band
name. It is a good band name.
It's like super inside jokey, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
just funny.
For those that don't get the reference, please explain.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not super into sports. I like baseball, but if I go to like a football game, I don't cheer for a team. So the joke is like, go local sports team. Like whatever town you're in, it can. The local sports team is here, whatever. And so it was. It's my favorite band name. But we played for a couple years, and it was me, Skylar, Jed, which is the group from high school.
Okay.
And then my friend Brennan played bass, and then our buddy Trevor played like the accordion and keyboards and whatever else. So we had some fun songs.
If the band's got an accordion, you know it's good.
Well, yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Like when he came up on stage, everyone lost their minds. Everyone loved Trevor. And he's like the most funny guy. Like he doesn't care about people liking him ever. Yeah. So like he's a really funny guy.
That's perfect.
But we have some music on Spotify. I mean, I don't know. I think the quality's pretty crap, but
it's good. I listened to it. Like, I'm glad it's still there.
Yeah.
There's also a clip from Simpsons, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we included that. We played Battle of the Bands at Velour, and our opening thing, we, Trevor like pressed a key on his keyboard, and it like played this whole intro thing, and it was Mr. Burns, right? Yeah. That's his name, and he's like, that local sports team, and then it played the Candyman, and we like skipped onto stage.
It's adorable.
We didn't win.
Why not?
I don't know. I know why.
Was Imagine Dragons in that year? Is that who beat you guys that year?
Basically, no. Some other band. Anyways, it was super fun. That's one of my favorite concerts I've ever done.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And then I'm in a band now. It's a bluegrass band. My buddy Skylar started. He's very good fiddler, and his brother's flat pick guitarist. So I get to just play train beats and go play shows with them, which is really fun.
You played some cool ones with them so far.
Yeah, we've had some fun shows. So that'll be a fun couple summer shows this year.
Nice. What's the next one?
I think we're playing. I think the first one's in June. Yeah, we're playing Utah Arts Fest.
Nice.
And then I think a couple nights later we play down at Strawberry Days. So that'll be fun.
And where's the Utah Arts Fest?
It's up in Salt Lake. They do it every year. So
is that the park downtown?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Yep. Perfect.
So that'll be fun.
Pioneer Park?
Yeah, we're playing super early on a Friday, so no one's going to be there. But
there's people that will be there.
It's cool.
They sleep there.
It'll be fun. Yeah, right.
They're there.
Right.
They'll be there bright and early for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to meet them.
Mm-hmm. That was rude.
Yeah. But my first band ever, I want to mention this because this is a hilarious band name too. Peaches. With a Z.
Classic.
And we played in junior high and high school.
Nice.
And we played all covers.
What songs did you cover?
We played this thing called Cave Stock at our high school.
Okay.
And
Cave Stock.
Yeah. They did it every year.
Is that because of the Timpanogos caves that are right there? Or is it Cave Stock?
We were cavemen, American Fork cavemen.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I need to study up on my Utah.
Yeah, you really do. This is embarrassing for you. But we played, what did we play? We played Radioactive by Imagine Dragons.
See, there it is.
Because we found this feature on this keyboard I had where you could make it sound like dubsteppy.
Nice. That's cool. For Peaches, obviously.
For Peaches. And then we played Come On Eileen.
Nice. Good one.
And we played Kids by MGMT.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And we played the song from School of Rock.
Nice.
The teacher's pet song.
Yeah, right on.
And I didn't drum in this band. I played the keys.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
It was pretty fun. Yeah.
My first time hearing this story. I love it.
Yeah. Peaches with a Z.
And we just talked about Pioneer Park. The only time I've seen MGMT was at Pioneer Park.
See, I didn't go to that show. That's so funny.
It was fun.
I'm so sad I missed that show. It was $5.
Randomly, yeah. $5 was in the park. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then you're avoiding another project that you've done.
Oh.
Solo project.
Right. Mm-hmm. Tyler Russell Miller. That's my name. Yeah.
Wear it out.
I put out a couple songs. Some of them were songs we played with local sports team.
Nice.
But I put out a couple songs.
And they're good. They're on Spotify.
I don't think they're very good.
They're very good.
Okay.
It goes back to that you saying you're feeling vulnerable, which I'm sure is what you're feeling right now. They are good though. They're very good.
Well, thank you.
And there's a lot of meaning behind them too.
Yeah, they're fun to write. I did a guitar solo. It was my first time ever.
Nice.
And I couldn't play a guitar solo, so I hummed it before.
Okay.
So I could figure out how to play it.
Do you still have that track you humming it? Because that's our intro song now.
I don't know, maybe. But I don't think people liked it because it was an acoustic song before. Okay. And then I added electric guitar and drums and everything to it. So when I sent it to my buddies, they were like, just do acoustic. And I was like, no, like, did you hear my guitar solo?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was fine. I'm like, no, it took me really long.
Yeah. You were so proud of it.
Yeah.
Just shut you down. I'm sorry.
But the vocals in that song are really bad. I think someone needs to go in and melodyne them or something.
But it seems like you and your friends, especially back then, was like acoustic style. So that was a different style that you brought to the
For sure. Yeah. It kind of had like, I don't even know what it was. It was fun. Mm-hmm. Fun to record.
Oh yeah, it's your solo, so why not do what you want to do?
Right. Exactly.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so out of all the bands that you've been in, I want to talk about the Utah scene.
Yeah.
But what's been your favorite place you've played?
Favorite place I've played? Well, this last year we played, I don't remember the company. There was some convention for like cancer research or something for primary children, I think. But they had a benefit concert at the Utah Utes stadium, Rice Eccles. Mm-hmm. So we got to play in the stadium. We told everyone it was a stadium show. We didn't play for the stadium. We were just in the stadium.
But you were there. Yeah.
So we were down, like, they have a banquet room down, like, on the field level. Yeah. And so we kind of played tucked up against that. But it was super cool. We had a view of the stadium the whole time, and we threw some touchdowns to each other. Nice. But that was just location-wise, it was super cool. Yeah. Like, really, really cool. Otherwise, I mean, every time I don't love playing, I don't love the Velour. Okay. But every time I play there, it's an experience for sure. Nice. They're just like really vibey, and there's always college kids there who are kind of into whatever's the newest music. Yeah. And that's kind of the scene, at least in Provo. Okay. So, yeah, I love the Velour. Yeah. For sure.
And so I didn't grow up here. I mean, I've kind of experienced a little bit, but people talk about the Provo scene and like that style of music. So for anybody that hasn't done their Utah research, can you explain that?
For sure. So I don't know what years it was, but like a couple bands that came out of that scene in Provo is like Imagine Dragons and Neon Trees. Yeah. So I would say what do we call them? Provo All-Stars. That's what we call them. Are all kind of like indie pop. Okay. That's sort of what I would say. Indie pop rock. But they started coming out of Provo, so it created this whole music scene. There's just a ton of really cool bands and really cool people and cheap shows to go to. So when we were in college, I mean, that's what we do. We'd go to like open mic nights just to hang out. Nice. Or we'd go on the weekends and see whatever local band was playing. Yeah. And there's some cool bands down there. There still is. I'm not really into the scene now, just being out of college, but there's a cool scene down there. And then we always knew about the scene in Salt Lake. Okay. Which I'm sure if you're from Salt Lake, you'd say that's better. And it probably is. Yeah. But I know like Kilby Court's a big spot for a lot of the local scene in Salt Lake. Cool. And yeah, it's a cool venue. It's super cool. And some cool bands come around and will play at Kilby Court, which is cool. and I think they have like a big festival now.
Yeah.
The Kilby Block Party.
I've never been to that.
Yeah, so it's grown a lot, which is cool. And a lot of local bands will be playing that, I think, too.
Yeah.
So, but Utah's, it's kind of just, a random place, it feels like, but they've got a really cool music scene. And some bigger names have come out of here. It's
different, for sure, anywhere else that I've been in. But it seems like what you're talking about, the Provo scene, if they weren't, from I know as being an outsider, if you weren't playing indie pop rock, it wasn't accepted for years.
Yeah.
And so
I would agree with
that.
For
me, that's kind of hard, is like, why not be open to different bands or styles? But they were very tight on, if you're not playing that, you're not playing here.
Big time. Yeah. So if you played anything remotely heavy, Muse Music next door was the spot.
Yeah. And so like, it's closed down now?
Yeah. So they closed down years ago. Okay. I think before we even graduated. Okay. Or maybe just after we graduated.
Yeah.
But just, not as many people at that time in like 2014, 15 were really listening to, at least in Utah and the scene, people weren't really listening to that kind of music.
Yeah.
But the whole indie thing was huge down there.
For sure.
Yep.
And it's funny because thinking of down there, like I think of the Used. So night and day difference.
Yeah, seriously.
Of the music. But
because they came out of Utah too. Yeah, exactly.
Orem or Provo or somewhere down there.
Yep.
So you go from that
to like folk
that's what
music.
I think, right? And then it's folk music. And they're like, no, we don't listen to the Used down here. Like we listen to Imagine Dragons and that's it.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Salt Lake is way more accepting and
broad variety of genres and people, which is cool.
But what I feel bad about is it's still not technically always like a big market. So a lot of the touring bands don't always stop at Salt Lake.
Yeah, they really don't.
It's hard. Like they either do it every other year or every couple of years. Like, if they don't tour that often. So
it seems like in the last 5 years or so, it's gotten better.
Good.
I feel like Utah's grown a lot since COVID, and just more people coming in who maybe aren't LDS has kind of changed the culture in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I think it's a good thing for Utah and for the music here. Yeah, because more bands will come through, and I think different kind of music will start to come out of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of the places, when we're talking about places that you've played, I'm glad you talked about the U, because if you didn't, I was going to make you tell that story. Because seeing the pictures from that, dude, the drum set out there was so cool.
Yeah.
Such a huge place. Like,
it was awesome. Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of fun.
It was very fun. Yeah.
And then we both played down in Provo separate times at, was it called Some Guy's Basement Garage?
Oh,
Shed?
yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah. I think they call it the Shed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one was fun. And it really was just a shed in his backyard.
Yep.
And the show we played, like, we were all out in like the little courtyard area with the door open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when we played there a couple times. We did a house show once we put on. And then a band was coming through called The Riverside.
Okay.
They're actually super cool. If you like folk music, which maybe not, but really cool band, very talented. They're like all nurses, and anytime they're touring,
that's cool.
They'll just like take work off and then go back to nursing. They're really cool, really cool people. But they were coming through town. They're like, hey, we heard you guys play like indie folk music. You guys want to do a show? We're like, yeah, totally. There's the Shed.
Nice.
So we set up the Shed. We made Lowe's or Home Depot buckets like stage, because the stage is really tiny.
Yeah.
So we extended the stage out with
nice.
buckets.
That's awesome.
And just like put, piece of plywood on top of it, whatever. And then some person came and they were starting a TP photo something.
Okay.
Like what are those photo strip things? You know what I'm talking about? Like a photo booth. And so they just like set up a TP photo booth for free. So it's like a whole party.
Interesting. Okay.
Like we didn't really have to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
People just kind of showed up. I'm sure if my friend Skylar hears this, he'll be like, dude, I set this whole thing up. I called them. The way I remember it is they just showed up. I have no idea.
It's just so easy.
Yeah. So, dude, the Shed, super cool.
That place was really cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Is it still active? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I think last I heard, people were just throwing like dance parties there, which is also super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah.
Throw a DJ on there and
that courtyard,
hot,
you can do it out
sweaty
there.
room.
It's that tiny. It's like Kilby Court's small. This place is small.
Tiny. Yeah. That's cool. Did you ever play? There's a basement. Someone has a basement in Provo.
Nope. I think it was my only Provo show.
Maybe Orem. Anyways, it's like kind of a sketchy basement in like a sketchy neighborhood.
Okay, I like this.
I mean, as sketchy as Provo gets. Yeah. But we went down and we were the only band playing soft music.
Okay.
Everyone there is playing heavier stuff. One dude is trying to be, who's that guy, the drummer with that wears the mask, you know? Sleep Token.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? And so he did that. He wasn't very good, but it was cool. He was trying something different. And then some other band that was playing like post-hardcore-y type, you know, maybe pop punk kind of music.
Yeah.
And then we were playing like folk music.
Yeah.
And so a mosh pit started and there was no stage and people were just getting shoved up against the drums. And we're like, dude, we're like not even playing upbeat.
Yeah.
Like we're playing super slow music. It was
they
cool.
Just wanted it. They made it happen.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It was a cool little basement. Yeah.
That's a good one.
It was fun.
Wish I was there for that.
Yeah.
I would have just, if people are on stage with you, I'd have just been pushing you when you're playing the drums.
Yeah, dude. People were just like up next to me on the drums. I was like, what is going on here? This is crazy. It was cool.
It's so funny. So to compare the Utah music scene, I mean, you lived in Arizona. You were there for what, about a year after I left?
Yeah.
And so like tours did start coming through. Did you go to shows while you were there? What do you think of the the Arizona music scene?
It seems like most bands get through Phoenix.
Yeah.
It seems like big enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw really any local bands though in Phoenix.
Yeah. I'm sure they were struggling at that time.
For sure. I don't even know what venues there are. Do you know down there?
The Nile, one that has the basement.
Yes, yeah.
I think that'd be a good one.
Went to the Nile. I mean, we saw people like Whiskey Row.
Okay.
But it was like country music.
Yeah.
But that was cool. Like, it's fun that, I mean, they're just playing covers, but.
Yeah. And that Santan Flats, did you ever go there?
No.
They have live music. That was pretty cool, but same thing, more country.
We went to the, what's that called? I think you saw the Story So Far there just recently.
The Marquee?
No.
Or no, the Van Buren.
The Van Buren.
That one's cool.
We saw Dr. Dog and Pine Grove there.
Yeah.
And that was really good. And then we saw Phoebe Bridgers somewhere bigger. Maybe it was closer to the stadium, like the basketball stadium.
Was that the Crescent Ballroom?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Where it's like a restaurant out front, and then you go through the sliding door.
Yeah, exactly. So
that one's nice though.
We saw her there. Is that a sit down venue?
I think there's seats in the back, right?
Okay, so that's where we were. It was kind of amphitheater type.
Yeah.
It might not be the same place, but Phoebe Bridgers, if you don't know her, she's slow, sad music.
Yeah.
Really, really good, talented songwriter. That was a good one to sit down.
Nice. Yeah.
Like we just chilled out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome.
I mean, if you dance, maybe it'd be a good dancing one, but not jumping around, not pushing around, nothing.
Yeah. But
she did a band after her solo, right? Where it was kind of a little bit more rocky, aggressive.
Yeah. So we saw them in Salt Lake. We saw them at the Depot.
Nice.
Where it's Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker.
Okay.
They're all really cool. Similar types of music, but they started a thing called Boy Genius, and we saw them. So they all opened up separately, and then they played together.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was 4 bands.
That's
basically.
a cool format.
Super cool.
I like that.
Yeah, it was just like a 5 or 6 song EP, and they played it straight through.
Yeah.
And we waved at Phoebe Bridgers, and she waved back.
Oh, adorable.
Sharon was not happy. No, just kidding. She was fine.
That's so funny.
But it was cool. Yeah.
And then you've also lived in Milwaukee.
Yep.
What about your time there?
Yeah. Same thing. I didn't really do a whole lot of music there. Same bands come through all the time though. They have some cool venues, some bigger like theater type venues, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then every year they do a thing called Summerfest.
Nice.
So
it's like by the river.
Yeah.
Right?
So every weekend for like a month and a half, I feel like maybe a little less. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's just different bands that come through.
Nice.
So you get to pay more for like the main band. So like one year, who came? Like Boston or Journey or someone would come, and you'd pay extra to see them. But if you just paid the normal fee to get into Summerfest, then you could see
that's perfect.
Different types of bands. So like a rap group would come through, and then like an indie band would come and play, and there's all different stages spread out.
Oh, that's so fun.
Really, really cool. Yeah, that's the best thing to do in the summer in Milwaukee. It's awesome. Yeah.
That's really nice they do that.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite scene that you've lived in for music scene?
I think Utah for sure. Because that's the only one I've really done anything local.
Yeah, Arizona's only a couple of years. Milwaukee's only a couple of years, right?
Yeah, which I feel like if I had a band and played music in Phoenix, I might say Phoenix, because I like Phoenix a lot. Yeah, more than I like Utah.
Let's move there.
Right? Yeah, for sure. We really should. But yeah, I'd say Utah.
And what's your favorite live band to see?
Bands,
multiple.
Well, minus the Bear. I'll just say minus the Bear. I've seen them like 4 or 5 times now, and that was like one of my first concerts I did with one of my brothers.
Nice.
And just everyone knows every word because they're not a huge band. Yeah, it feels more intimate.
Cool.
But everyone sings along to everything.
So not just the band itself, but the whole experience.
The vibe's just really.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they always play a really good show, and I mean they do some tap and guitar stuff.
Yeah.
And the vocals are always really cool, and it's a good experience.
Is that who you were saying that you saw tap the guitar for the first time?
First time ever. I had no idea. We listened to all these songs, and they're like, he uses tons of delay pedals. And so I just figured it was that. And then you go see him, and he's tapping on all these songs, which is really cool. And
so when you saw him at that point, were you already playing guitar?
No. I mean, I maybe knew like basic chords.
Okay.
But I just stared at the drummer like I do at every show.
Yeah, you need both.
Yeah, I think the first show we saw him, the first or second time we saw him, the drummer gave me his stick.
Nice.
Which was cool. Because I was like 14.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was a younger kid.
That's so cool.
And I still haven't gone through puberty, so I probably looked younger than 14. And then the guitarist.
Have you now?
Well.
Okay, we don't have to enter that.
Not exactly. And then the guitarist grabbed my sister-in-law's hand and put a pick in her hand and closed her hand around it. So she for sure got one.
That's cool.
Really cool. So that's just nice, some cool experiences with the band. And yeah, that was like in junior high, that was my favorite band. So
nice.
Minus the Bear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And so who or what got you into being a musician? Like I wanted to say a drummer, but can't say that because you're so many instruments you play.
My dad for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, anytime we did anything, music was always playing.
Yeah.
And he would do just spontaneous dance parties in the kitchen all the time.
Nice.
And like, he took my mom to concerts all summer long.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd travel around. They'd go down to Vegas to shows. They'd go wherever, fly out to Seattle for shows.
Yeah.
So he was super into music. He didn't play music.
Okay.
But really into music. So yeah, I started playing piano as a kid, and then I got into drums, and he was just pumped about it.
Yeah.
And he was a sports guy, but it was nice. He was fully supportive of me playing music, which is really cool. So he definitely got me into music, and then I'd say my brother Chris got me into the type of music I listened to.
Okay.
Because he was super into, more emo bands like Taking Back Sunday and Hawthorne Heights when he was in high school. And so, like Blink-182 and all those. Anything on Fuse at that time.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's all that was playing at the house. And so I got really into that. And then he got me into Minus the Bear. And so I started going more into indie music. So I'd say the combination of them two that's totally my music taste now. Yeah.
Nice. And then with playing instruments, was your dad like super supportive of whatever instrument you wanted to play? He just made it happen, or?
Yeah. I mean, my brother Chris played guitar, and this is the reason I started playing drums. My brother wanted a drum set at the house.
There we go. There's the story.
He had a band called It's Still Tuesday. Pretty like time.
Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah. It's like appropriate for the time. Right. And they played a couple shows, whatever, but he wanted a drum set at the house. So he convinced me I should play the drums.
Nice.
And so that's seriously the reason I got a drum set.
That's so cool.
And he used it constantly.
Nice.
But my dad had always told me too, like he'd always wanted to learn to play the drums. And so I don't know, it just kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did your dad ever mess around with it? Did he try?
No. I don't know. Maybe when I was gone and no one was looking. Who knows? But he never, I mean, I offered to teach him a few times. And he always said no. I think at the end of the day, he just was a music lover. Yeah. Wanted to listen.
And sometimes that's what you need is your outlet. So you don't want to mix the two of
for sure
making it frustrating trying to learn to do music. But I mean, from what I know, there's some great stories with your dad and concerts you've been to or memories. Like he seems like like the nicest, coolest guy ever. Yeah. But then also like the biggest music fan for sure.
Yep. huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Massive. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the love for going to concerts comes from him.
Nice.
For sure.
The passion of music too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of your record collection over here is either stuff that was his or inspired by him.
Yeah.
But there's two specifically I want to talk about.
Okay.
That every time I think of your dad.
Yeah.
So first one, Creed. We've already talked about Creed today. But
big time.
Tell me about your dad and Creed.
Huge Creed fan. I don't know why. So the story is actually really funny.
Okay.
My brother Brian was in high school and he brought home a Creed album, a CD, and my dad heard it and he's like, "What are you listening to this junk for? This is terrible." So he like took it from my brother. Next thing we knew, he was so into Creed. Like, I don't even know, because I was pretty young at this point, but the story goes like a couple weeks later, they're in the car and he's blasting Creed.
Knows it word for word.
My brother's like, "What? You said I couldn't listen to this." He's like, "I was wrong. It's really good."
I take it back.
Yeah. So huge Creed fan. So we saw a family.
Yeah.
We saw them last summer at USANA. Yeah. So fun.
That's awesome.
We sang every word. It was awesome.
It's good.
And I think I could guess the other one.
Yeah, please.
The Mariah Carey.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So he had a poster in the house originally of Mariah Carey in this album. Yeah. I don't even know the album name.
But it's one with the rainbow, right?
With the rainbow. And she's looking good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's Mariah Carey. She looks awesome. My mom made him take it down for obvious reasons. So he put it in the garage, in his garage. Nice. So it's not there anymore. But for my until I was a teenager, it was hung up in his garage.
That's so awesome.
So I saw that at a record store. Maybe
we saw it in Arizona.
Yeah. What's that?
Zia Records.
Yeah, Z. That's right.
Is that when you bought it?
That's when I bought it.
Okay. And that's when I heard the story, and I just love that story. Dude. So every time I see Mariah Carey or that album, I think of your dad and that story.
Well, and so at our house in Arizona for a long time, because I always display the record I'm listening to or whatever, I just displayed Mariah Carey for weeks. And Sharon, every time, I'd always tell the story to because it's a funny story. And she'd just shake her head like, "This is ridiculous. You got to take it down." I'm like, "Nope, it's staying up."
You're just acting like your dad.
Yep, that's right.
Keeping the tradition going.
It's got to stay up there. Yeah.
Yep. I'm glad you knew what the second story was going to be.
I figured. I was like, after the Creed, I'm like, okay, Mariah Carey.
And so is there any music, though, that comes from your mom?
Yeah. So I'd say a lot of the folk music that I like is because of my mom. She was super into the Carpenters.
Nice. That's a good band.
Which Karen Carpenter is like the coolest drummer.
Yeah.
She's so sick. And then she really loves John Denver.
Nice.
Which, who doesn't? John Denver's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then she loved ABBA.
Okay.
So, yeah. Saturday mornings, that's what she'd listen to.
Nice.
But I have 2 or 3 Carpenter records and a John Denver record in there.
Nice.
But I'd say that's probably where a lot of the folk influence comes from for me.
Right on.
Yeah.
And that's been a lot of your music playing time, too. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to play folk music on the guitar. It's really easy. You just play chords. So.
Yeah. And then what about from Sharon, from your spouse? What music has she influenced on you?
That I listen to?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
What concerts have you been to because of her?
Post Malone is probably the only one.
And how was that?
It was good.
Okay.
It's not the worst concert I've ever been to.
Well, that's good. What is?
What is?
Yeah, I thought you had that loaded. Like you were ready to tell me. I thought there was a story there.
Maybe it is the worst concert I've been to. I haven't been to very many bad concerts.
Well, that opening band, we can say that, right?
Okay, yeah, that's probably what it was. But not the concert.
Not the concert. Yeah, just that 20 minutes I had.
Honestly, Post Malone he did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the type of music I like, yeah, maybe that's the worst concert I've been to. But
not necessarily a bad concert, just not your thing, which is fine.
He did great.
Yeah.
I know her least favorite concert.
Okay, tell me.
We saw a band called Radical Face at Metro Music Hall.
Okay.
And it was a long concert and very slow.
Okay.
I mean, these guys are slow music. And we stood, and she honestly never complains at concerts. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's there. She's happy to be there.
Good.
We have a good time.
Yeah.
This is the only time I've heard her be like, I'm so sick of standing. And I was like, where is this coming from? But yeah, it was slow. And she didn't know any of the songs. So.
Is that the one where you said you can smell the drummer's feet?
No, that one was sick. That was Whitney. That was an awesome concert. No, she didn't go to that one. But yeah, Radical Face.
Okay. And is there any other music that Sharon listens to because of your concerts you've drug her to?
She loves Bon Iver.
Nice.
she loves Dr. Dog.
Okay.
And apparently she likes Hawthorne Heights now.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Not now, but she has. She's just letting it out. That's one thing I really like about Sharon is she supports you in all your music stuff, and then she'll listen. Like, she doesn't complain when it comes to your passion.
For sure. I mean, she loves Gregory Alan Isakov. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Nope.
Really good folky guitarist guy. He's from Colorado. But we saw him up at Deer Valley this last summer.
Nice.
And I mean, just venue-wise alone, it was amazing.
Was it like an outdoor thing?
Outdoor thing, cool. Yeah. So it's up on the lawn, and like the you can see the lift that runs up too.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, that was an awesome concert.
It's really cool. I got a couple last-minute questions for you.
Okay.
I mean, guilty pleasures. I feel like that's going to be a good conversation with you. Do you have any embarrassing bands or songs that you don't want people to know about, but now they're going to find out?
Well, I mean, I already mentioned Mariah Carey and the Carpenters. So, guilty pleasure bands. I love like soul, gospel, like old R&B. Yeah. That's not really embarrassing, but it's definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. I think
it's not something I know about you.
Yeah, just really, really good. Makes me just feel something.
Any specifics?
I love Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Yeah, which we talked about.
Talk about that. Found that out today.
And I mean, that's probably the biggest one.
Okay.
Love Marvin Gaye. Otherwise, I don't know. 10 years ago, I'd say emo music, but I'm not embarrassed about it.
Oh, dude, high school?
I came out of the emo closet now, so.
I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, listen to emo in high school or more.
Well, just like it wasn't cool. Yeah. I feel like with Midwest emo now, like being a thing, and there's kind of like a scene for it now. Yeah. I think it's more accepted that you listen to that kind of music.
And it's different.
Yeah.
It's not the tight jeans, black hair in your face. It's
a different I still wear the tight jeans.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But yeah.
So what's your definition of emo then?
My definition of emo. We've talked about this before, and I wonder if my answer is the same as it was before.
Let's find out.
I think my definition of emo... Yeah, it's funny because I don't even know what's the genre is what, post-hardcore?
Yeah.
That's what I think is emo.
Okay.
If I were to define emo, it'd be anything talking about cutting your wrists and blacking your eyes. And skinny jeans, hair in your face. I don't know. Black with the cool stud bracelets on. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like old Hot Topic.
Yeah, Hot Topic is like a great answer.
A great definition of what I would say emo is. But I think more now, because people will say like, oh, I don't like screamo or emo music, whatever. But I feel like most of the music I listen to, even if it's slow, it can almost be defined the same way. The lyrics are identical.
Yeah.
They're just not screaming it. They're just singing it very somberly.
Yeah, the energy's changed.
For sure. But it's the same idea. So I don't know. Yeah. I think there's the whole cultural emo thing, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
But then I think lyrically, I think that's also a thing.
Yeah.
I think singing about your emotions, and they're usually sad emotions.
Definitely,
right?
Yep.
So, yeah, kind of two different definitions, but that's what I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about your definition of punk?
When I think of punk, I think of skateboarding.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know. It's just like the attitude. I think that's a big part of punk is like you don't care what other people think. Like you don't, I don't know. Like you're almost fighting against something that is there or isn't there. But I think it's an attitude thing. Like I see a lot of skateboarders and they're usually like more alone and more aggressive.
Yeah.
At least as teenagers.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of the music too, is punk is it's more aggressive and like I don't care mentality, I guess. And that's a lot of angst. So it feels like teenage skateboarding. It's a good definition for me of what punk is.
Dude, I love that answer.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Well, and then you hear like all these punk bands, like that's what they did is they skated. Like all the Blink guys skated
for sure,
or rode BMX.
Yeah,
And like, I'm sure you look into a lot of these punk bands, and I'm sure skateboarding was a big part of them.
And I incorporate BMX as like skating, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing, the same, right?
It's the same people, it's the same crowd.
Same kind of music they listen to as well. Yeah. Well, even some of these dudes like Tony Hawk, not Tony Hawk, but you listen to his video games and punk's like it.
Yeah.
Like that's a majority. That and like hip hop has a big, obviously.
But I would say like the hip hop, Public Enemy, I mean, Rage Against the Machine's not hip hop, but they have the influence of that, right? But the songs that he chooses to put on there are still your definition of punk.
Definitely. Big time.
Yeah.
And then people like Steve Caballero, I mean, he was in punk bands all throughout skateboarding. So like, I feel like they go hand in hand.
Definitely. I agree with that.
A lot of similarities between the two.
Okay. I got one final question for you.
Okay.
And I didn't give you this one to prep.
Oh.
And it's pretty personal, so it's borderline like maybe inappropriate. So if you...
I love it.
If you feel like you don't want to talk about it...
I'll tell you.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just unplug everything. Okay. Just run away.
It just gets cut off midway.
Yep. So that's how it is.
Soprano style.
So if you're going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich...
Yeah.
Do you put more peanut butter or more jelly on the sandwich?
This is too personal.
No, I'm sorry.
Wow, I love this question. More peanut butter for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I cake it on, and I get crunchy, extra crunchy peanut butter.
Any specific brand?
Usually Skippy.
Okay.
But I'll have any kind. But yeah, tons of crunchy peanut butter, and then. Yeah, just a nice thin layer of jam.
Thin layer, yeah. What's your go-to jam flavor?
My mom makes jam, and she has forever.
Okay.
It's the best jam in the world.
Raspberry?
It's raspberry. Honestly, I don't like other jam because of her.
Yeah.
It's too good. Well, but, I mean, I'll just get some Smuckers. I don't care. I'll throw Smuckers on.
I think I've had your mom's once, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
And then she made some treats when we went to her house once. The Scotcheries, is what they're called?
Yeah.
Holy cow, those were so good.
She's quite the woman.
And I hear about some popcorn that she makes, some caramel popcorn.
Dude, just come over.
On
any given Sunday. Now. She'll make all of them.
Popcorn.
More peanut butter, less jam.
Great answer. I support that answer. I'm sorry for getting too personal with you.
It's okay.
But I'm really glad we got the time to do this. Thank you for doing it with me.
Hopefully I didn't talk too much.
Oh, no such thing, friend.
I mean, there might be.
But yeah, thanks for doing this. Thanks for being such a great friend to me. I really appreciate you doing it.
Yep.